Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to be talking into my microphone alone in my bedroom. This is so exciting. I am eager to get all of my thoughts and opinions to the public. Isn't that everyone's dream? I'm just here to talk into this microphone about all the things that I love about media, the current things I'm enjoying, music, movies, TV, all of those things. I find that a part of my enjoyment of consuming media is the ability to talk about it with people and just in general talk about it, analyze it, and really think about the importance of that media. So that is what I'm here to do. I will have about one, two, three, four, five categories. Each episode will talk about there'll be music, TV, movies, YouTube, and books, which you'll hear more about that later in the episode. But I would love to start with music since that is something that I consume most of, I'd say. I have an app called Airbuds and you connect it to your music streaming platform. So it's either Spotify or Apple Music, and it will track every single song you listen to. So at the end of the week, every Sunday night, you will get a report, basically a recap of your top five songs, your most streamed album, and I think artist. I am blanking on all the stats it gives you, but it's weekly, which is really cool. And it also tells you how many minutes you listen to music. I average about 1,200 to 1,800 minutes a week. Like last week I listened to 2,000 minutes. That is like 30 hours. I'm pretty sure I Googled that. 30 hours of music, which is definitely an increase for me since I graduated college. Now that I'm full time working at my job, I can have my headphones in. So I listen to music while I'm at work. I listen to music on the way to work in my car, and of course, the way home. So music is something I consume a lot of, like I said. And the things that I'm currently enjoying, I have been streaming Doja Cat's new album like nobody's business. I I don't want to say I was a Doja Cat fan. I feel like I just listened to a couple of her songs that would be like on TikTok and stuff. Since high school, actually, I've known about her since high school, which is like about 5 years now, which is crazy. Um, but she performed on SNL like 3 weeks ago since from the point I'm filming. She performed and she sang Amen and Gorgeous. And I had known Gorgeous because I saw a promo video. I forget if it was her promo video, if it was an ad for something. She was singing Gorgeous with Alex Consani. It was like in the video. I said, well, I'm immediately going to download that song and put it in my playlist for the month. So Gorgeous is great. And then she did Amen on SNL. She is such a great performer, and like watching her, like she knows who she is. That's what I could get from her. Is like she knows who she is. She has her vibe, she has her aesthetics, and she's a really good vocalist. So when her full album came out, I was like, absolutely, I'm going to listen. It is like the perfect 80s inspired rap album, if that makes sense. I'm actually gonna go to Apple Music and check right now and see. Okay, Apple Music says it's a pop album, but she still has her rap verses in most of the tracks, so that's always a fun thing to listen to. But these songs, I feel like have I'm listening to it, I'm like, that's like an 80s synth. That's like Tina Turner vibes. I don't know if I'm getting the wrong references. I just really enjoy this album. So it's a refreshing new style for her that is of course different from her past album. I feel like Planet Her was her vibe and that was of the times like 2021, like that album came out at the right time. It had its moment, but I feel like she's embracing a side of her and I feel it through the screen. She was just performing at a Vogue show like in the road. Like I think Gracie Abrams also did. Like they're performing in this street. I don't know. I'm just kind of remembering seeing it on Instagram Reels very quickly. But I don't know. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. So that is one of the albums. The other album that I'm currently enjoying is Laundry Day's debut album. So if you're not Laundry Day is a New York-based pop rock band, but they have gone viral on TikTok, at least on my For You page, them singing songs a cappella style. Like, I'm thinking Malcolm Todd songs, somber songs. They're just really good vocalists. And I have saved a couple of their singles. I'm like, this band is actually good. Their original music is really catchy, and I'm kind of intrigued. I always love getting in early with artists, knowing that they're really, really good performers when they're releasing their debut album, because I feel like I'm like, yeah, I'm I'm the number one stan. I'm from day one. But Laundry Day is great. If you haven't had the chance, just go look them up on TikTok. But their debut album is so good. I feel like what was successful for me, at least, what they did, it's only 10 tracks. And if you go past 10 tracks, I get bored. Unless I really like your music, I am not going to sit there. Like, I will say Doja Cat's new album is 15 tracks. That's a lot for me. I have a short attention span. Laundry Day's 10-track album is great. It's called Earworm, which, from a marketing standpoint, I saw that when they announced their album. I was like, you guys are geniuses. Whoever thought of that is a genius. But from a marketing standpoint, I think naming your album a one word thing. Also, an earworm is something that just gets into your brain and you cannot stop thinking about it. I think it's genius. I think it's great. Supermodel was one of their first singles, I believe. That was great, but I really like Aperol Spritz. They had a new video for it, which was really fun. Are You Ready is great too. So if you haven't had the chance, just go check it out. I think starting with their TikToks, getting to know who the people are, will introduce you well into that band. So that was something I've been currently enjoying as well. And then generally, I was scrolling on Instagram. My algorithm is a little weird in that, like, I just get like a lot of vintage stuff. I get like archival vintage. I don't even know how to describe it. It was a Gap store, like the Gap retail store playlist. It was like a picture of it that someone took, and it was like 2003, and it had pen and highlighter that says do not remove. So I'm guessing it was literally from a Gap retail store. And it was the songs that they have to play that they got from corporate. I was like, that is so fascinating. These like curated playlists essentially. I have a friend who worked at Bath and Body Works, and she told me that there is a specific playlist with specific songs that play, and it's typically on repeat. So these retail workers are hearing the same songs over and over again. But I'm just intrigued by that. I never worked retail in that sense. So I looked it up on Google, and I was like, Gap playlist archive, or I forgot what I typed in. There's an entire website that has like pictures or screenshots of these playlists. And I was simply 4 years old in 2006, but for some reason, I used to go to the mall a lot with my mom. Was, she'd just bring me to the mall and we'd walk around and I'd go shopping with her as a kid. So I'm like, this is just so nostalgic. Made two playlists. It was the summer 2006 and fall 2006 playlist. So now they're in my Apple Music. I have been playing them at work, and I don't know what it's about. Like, I just these songs are mostly irrelevant to me. I don't know who a lot of these bands are, and I don't really know how popular they were back in 2006, but I have just enjoyed the vibes. It was just great. I just like the randomness, and I can kind of picture myself shopping in a Gap. I think our local mall had a Gap at one point. So it just all works out, and that's just a random little nostalgia playlist that I have now in my arsenal. Is that the right word? I have this playlist in my arsenal. So that is it for what I'm currently enjoying in the music realm. Moving on to television. So for TV, reflecting on the last year of my life, I didn't watch a lot of it because I was in school. And I mean, I watch television shows. I watch series with my roommates and stuff, but now I feel like I have more time for it. Um, like a more like a weekly routine, if that makes more sense. So every week on Tuesdays, my grandma and I are watching Dancing with the Stars. I, growing up, would just kind of see her watching it. I never really like sat and paid attention as a kid. My mom too. Like it never something that I was interested in growing up until the recent years. It's just been on my social media like crazy. So this year, I finally don't have class on Tuesday night like I did last year. I'm home early. I can sit down and watch it at 7 p.m. I can eat my dinner. It has been the most fun weekly tradition that I've had in a long time. And it's with my grandma, which is really cool. So, been watching it every single week. I don't even know what week we're on at this point. We just watched it was a Halloween episode. But I have some hot takes. So if you are a Dancing with the Stars fan, buckle in. I voted for Andy. Listen, I voted for Andy the first couple weeks because he was cute and it was so sweet to see him be excited for it. But I haven't been voting for him and he is still on the show. Which I'm not implying that my vote matters in that sense, but people are still voting for him. And I'm like, you guys, we're like over halfway through the season, and this should be where we get like really good dances. So, but with that, also, I saw a video today that I agreed with. Andy dances same way, or maybe I should say the same level as Dylan Efron. Okay, that's a hot take. I'm sorry. Dylan and Andy have similar performances, but I think Daniela, which is Dylan's partner, she like sells it. Like I literally watch her the whole time. Not to say that I'm not watching Emma, but I mean, whatever. I could get down a rabbit hole and I don't want to. You may have your opinions as you're listening to this, but those are mine. Anyway, Andy can't make it to the finale, that's for sure. And if he does, I will just think it's ridiculous. Um, and I know some of the people who are going to listen to this don't agree with this, but I like Whitney Levitt. I watched her TikToks. I never watched the show, like The Secret Life of Mormon Wives or whatever. I think that's ridiculous. I've only ever seen her from the Mormon Wives. Like I never knew what any of those other women were. I knew who Whitney was. I did see the RSV TikTok dance when her son had RSV. That's not great, but I have the last couple weeks I've enjoyed watching her dance. I think it's that simple. I just enjoy her performances. I enjoy her facial expressions, and that's that. I enjoy Mark's choreography, basically. What is what I'm saying. So that is my biggest hot take is that I am a Whitney fan. But that is not who I want I don't know who I want to win at this point. Alex has really good potential to win. I feel like Robert's going to win because people are going to vote for him. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's how I feel about Dancing with the Stars. I will get off my soapbox right now. Something else that I've been watching, I actually finished, is the Monsters Ed Gein show. So I have some thoughts about that series. I originally watched the Dahmer season in 2022. That was an interesting time of my life. I watched it. It was depressing. It was disgusting. It was horrifying. I wasn't like scared of it, but it was just like the mental toll it takes on you to think about the things that happened. The cinematography was great. The writing was great. The portrayal was great. But yeah, the story in general is just like, it's disgusting. And then last year was the Menendez brothers. And watching that with my roommates is like a core memory. It was like something I look forward to. I look back fondly at watching that. And that's more like true crime court leaning storytelling. The murder scene of that was like horrible. I literally that was like scary for me, like very detailed. But anyway, coming into this year with the new monster season, I was like, I don't know a lot about Ed Gein. He's from Wisconsin and he killed people. That's literally all I knew going into it. And that was just because I've always heard that name and it was just something that I never was intrigued by enough to do further research or consume media about it. But as I'm watching, the first episode was kind of hard. I will admit, if you haven't watched it yet, first episode's a little confusing because you're kind of balancing the idea of like what is wrong with this guy, that type of thing. But as I kept going, I started really enjoying the way that I don't know how to describe it, the way that they showed the story. That is like the most basic way of saying what I'm going to say. Anyway, so many pop culture icons, so many pop culture movies. Oh, no. Delete that, Emma. There are so many things in pop culture that were inspired by the Ed Gein stories, and this show did it perfectly. They showed the inspiration perfectly. We have Psycho. That is one of my favorite movies. I feel like that's such a movie bro thing to say, but Psycho is a great movie. Um, and that was inspired by Ed Gein's story. Like Alfred Hitchcock was like, yeah, that guy's crazy. Mommy issues kind of. So like maybe I'll write a story about that. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think I knew that. It was just never it never clicked to me, or I didn't really care to make it make sense in my head. But watching how the show portrayed it was so interesting. I just loved it. Like seriously, I I love that part of the Ed Gein show. The other stuff is gross. I like had to look away. Like it was just not something I enjoyed consuming in that sense. But I thought I'd mention that part of the Ed Gein show. And then what I'm most excited to talk about, but I'm going to make it brief because this will be a topic for the next like forever, the next couple months. I am rewatching Stranger Things with my grandma. She's watching it for the first time, but I'm doing a rewatch for the fifth and final season. I I'm going to make this quick because I can talk about it forever. I love this show. I will say I only started watching in 2019 when the third season came out because my TikTok For You page was full of Alexi drinking the icy and 80s music and malls and scrunchies and you know the vibes of 2019 summer. So I quickly binged the first two seasons and then I watched the third season. I remember bawling my eyes out. I had like literally watched it in like a 2 week time span. I had seen the stories that had been taking place for like 3 years before that in our time, like from 2015. I just felt this instant connection to the show and I was obsessed, like truly, as most people were. So, summer 2019 is like seriously defined by that season of television. So, of course, and in 2022, when the fourth season came out, I was set. I remember that summer vividly. I was living at home in between college. I was working in an ice cream shop. Oh my God, I just seriously, I will talk about it forever. So I'm going to be very quick with it. Loved season four. I had done a podcast sort of thing beforehand. There is a lost episode where I sat and talked about season four, Stranger Thing. I forgot Stranger Thing, Stranger Things, things. I had talked about something. I have it in my notes app. I don't remember. I recorded it on my phone. Anyway, I love that season. It is like ingrained in my head, and I cannot wait to show my grandma. We're on the first episode of season four. We watched that this past Sunday. So next week we will watch more episodes. But I'm just so excited to show her because it's so good. The music, the vibes, the aesthetics, it's great. So, Stranger Things rewatch. Very, very, very excited for the fifth season. And that is all for television. On to movies. So, I am a movie lover, which I think is a very common trait, but I love movies and I will keep manifesting and saying I'm going to be a film director at some point in my life and make really cool movies. Cinematographer, director of photography, director of the entire film. I want to be in that industry and it's going to happen. So, mark my words. Anyways, in the meantime, I watch a lot of movies. My letterboxed is I just can't. My current movies that I've watched this year, the current number is 186. So, that's pretty good. I wish it was higher because it's bragging rights. The most movies watched in the year. Yeah. People have a lot of movies logged on Letterboxd. I'm like, did you really watch those? Although I did watch an Amy Schumer movie this summer, or maybe this spring. I got 9 minutes into it and I turned it off, but I still rated it because I was tortured. My brain was tortured from watching the Amy Schumer movie. Anyways, back to what I want to talk about for this episode. My current movies that I'm enjoying, that I have enjoyed, because I'm not currently watching a movie, believe it or not. I watched Weapons this past weekend. I don't have weapons is something that I've said a lot because Daniel Larson's Video is ingrained in my brain. I don't have weapons, but I was really excited to log into HBO Max and see that Weapons was streaming. Now, I had really no idea what I was getting into, to be honest. I kind of saw a little bit on social media here and there, but I was able to avoid any major spoilers. I kind of knew what to expect, but not really. Loved Weapons. I love the non-linear timeline, the way that they structured it. It was great. Um, I mean, I just like those types of movies, like psychological, weird horror. I don't know. So, Weapons was good. I've watched other movies in between, like here and there, random ones, Hubie Halloween, Flowers in the Attic, but I saw One Battle After Another last month. Let me tell you, if that doesn't win something in the Oscars for like even just cinematography, it was so good. 3 hour long movie. I was so scared to go to the theaters because I cannot still sit still for the life of me. It's been 20 minutes of this episode. I'm surprised I'm still sitting here. I was really intimidated by the almost 3 hour long movie, but I wanted to see it because I like Paul Thomas Anderson's style. I like that he brings back the same actors for his movies. I like that he's married to Maya Rudolph, so that's great. But One Battle After Another really just like blew my expectations out of the water. It was so good. I will say some of the pacing's it was a little off for me. I'd like to have a little bit more backstory, but honestly, no, I don't. I mean, movies are made a certain way, there's intention behind it, so I think it was great. Loved that movie. Um, The Long Walk, that I watched The Long Walk, I think early September, I believe, or no, end of September. Maybe I Oh wait, One Battle After Another was like October 2nd. That was only like 27 days ago. This month has been really long. I've been so busy, so I'm kind of forgetting. Yeah, the Long Walk was end of September. Let me tell you, I of course wanted to see it because of Cooper Kaufman of Cooper Hoffman, and I I knew what to expect going into it. It's The premise is pretty simple. In this story, these kids sign up to do this contest, I guess you could say, and they start walking and they don't stop until there's one person left, and things happen. And I knew that going into it, but actually sitting in the theaters, giant screen of people like getting killed and like soiling themselves and then getting killed because they had to go to the bathroom while they've been walking for like days straight. Bro, I almost freaked out. I had to like do deep breaths. Like I was seriously like, Emma, you're fine. That's not real. You're not walking. You're sitting down in a movie theater. It's fine. I really enjoyed the theater experience. I was with my friend and I was actually typing into the notes app my thoughts. Cooper Hoffman, I really can't get into it. I think that would be inappropriate for this podcast, but I love Cooper Hoffman. He's great. His dad was great. I hate that you have to talk about his dad when we talk about him because he's his own independent actor. He's been doing really great in the movies he's in. Love Cooper Hoffman. That has been my movie segment of this episode. Movies is always something I will have lots to say about, and I have to really control myself so I don't go off on tangents. My next category is YouTube. For a while, I considered YouTube a dying platform because I mean me, were so into the short form TikTok content. I mean, of course, like I still do love TikTok and Instagram, like probably to an unhealthy amount that I use it, but my attention span has suffered. But there's something about coming home from work, playing Sims. Yes, I'm a simmer. um, and watching a YouTube video. Like it's so simple. Like it's not like I have to watch a whole movie. It's like I pop on a 20-minute YouTube video. But recently I have been watching a lot of ghost hunting videos. Which I haven't done recently. I used to watch a lot back in like 2021, like Sam and Colby. That was like my bread and butter. But now I've stepped away for a while, but recently I watched the Sam and Colby video where they went to the catacombs in Paris, which fun fact, I went to Paris when I was 16 and I really wanted to go to the catacombs, but we only had like an hour at this specific stop. I'm like, there is no way I'm getting down there and getting a tour in that amount of time. So I missed my opportunity back in 2018. I'll never forget that. Maybe I'll go back one day. But they went and explored the catacombs, and then they went to the new, well, I shouldn't say new. They went to the Conjuring house from the new Conjuring movie, the Smurl family house in Pennsylvania, which I saw the new Conjuring movie in theaters. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, so that is Sam and Colby. And then Garrett Watts. I love Garrett Watts. I have loved him since the Shane Dawson era when they met and they kind of, I don't think they dated. Did they? I don't really know. But I have watched Garrett Watts every single video he's made since 2020. They're far and few between, but they're really good. And I'm currently watching it. I'm like 30 minutes in. He's doing it's a 2 hour long, and it's a 2 hour long video of him investigating this haunted mansion in California. I don't know. I'm really excited. After I'm done recording this, I'm going to watch it. So that's one thing I've been consuming on YouTube. And then has been, and this will be what I watch on YouTube is Slushy Noobs. Those two goofballs, I don't know. Something about them. Every single video I feel like is genuine and thought through, which I feel like some YouTubers, it's just like, I'm just throwing this video out here. I feel like they put a lot of effort into it and it's funny, it's entertaining. So love the Slushy Noobs, and it's adjacent to them is the Measley Brothers. I've been watching a lot of Peyton King recently, so that has been on my mind. As well as while I'm at work, I don't always want to just listen to the music on Apple Music. I listen to, or I guess watch HT Hayes doing music reactions to the music that I already know. So it's like fun, like, oh my God, what is he gonna think about this song? So those are some things I've been watching on YouTube. And for my final category is books. And I wouldn't consider myself a reader. I, of course, can read. I am literate, but I don't read as often as I probably should. So, this part of the episodes, I will hold myself accountable. And hopefully by next time I'm recording an episode, I have read some pages of a book. My current read, my current read is Sunrise on the Reaping, the new Hunger Games. It's been on my nightstand for weeks and I haven't touched it. I actually bought it in June and I read like 2 chapters, and that's how far I've gotten. But I want to read it before the movie comes out. I know it's a while, but I just want to get that done and over with. In the process of trying to get a library card, I have to change my address on my ID. It's a whole thing. I want to read more. I want to feed my brain. I don't know how to describe it. I want to read more. So hopefully by next recording session, I have read more. We will see. Not sure how that's going to happen, but I put it on my self-care app that I read. Maybe I'll reward myself. Who knows? So, upcoming things that I'm excited for music is Florence and the Machine's new album comes out tomorrow night, or I guess it's Friday for Halloween. But Florence and the Machine's new album. TV I'm looking forward to is, of course, going to be Stranger Things season 5, and movies is Begonia. Very excited to go watch that, and just honestly, any of the Oscar noms this season. Tomorrow night, I'm going to go see Regretting You, which is a Colleen Hoover book movie adaptation. I don't think it's going to be good, but I'm going to see it for fun, and that's kind of what you have to do when you're a movie lover, is watch things you're not really excited about. Ugh, but you want to see it. Like, you're like, okay, I'll just see it for the sake of seeing it. So that's what's happening. But yeah, thank you so much for getting this far into the episode. I just wanted to say I love talking. I love media, as you probably can tell. So just being able to record myself and post it, even if nobody watches it, it makes me happy. And I tried podcasting before, like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. It really didn't work for me. I don't think I had the motivation back then. And since then, I've gotten a communication degree where I've had to learn how to talk better and talk on the radio. Actually, I was on my school's radio station, so I found ways to bring up topics and keep topics going. So I literally talked for almost 30 minutes straight, which is pretty cool. So thank you for listening.